As far as the highest concern for us, any of the counties highlighted in purple, tree and power line damage likely. That's our greatest potential for structural damage as this rolls through. If you're in the red, power outages, down trees likely as well. Wind gusts between 55 and 75 miles per hour. The further north and west that you move from there will still be some problems. As far as some power outages, some down trees, north and west of Interstate 85 conditions should be a little bit better.
That just goes to show how catastrophic this storm is about to be as it moves inland to the Florida Panhandle, where many of us vacation. I just heard that we have our Parker Branton out in the Mobile Alert Center, just about 20 miles south of Dothan. So we want to get an update on conditions from him and see how it's going in that area.
Lauren, the roads are very wet, needless to say, in this area 19 miles south of Dothan. Take a look behind me. This is why emergency officials say if you don't have to be on the road, don't get behind the wheel.
It does look like Michael is about to make landfall here, just east of Panama City towards Mexico Beach. And what I want you to notice is all of the lightning around the eye here. So within the eye wall, we are seeing some really powerful thunderstorms.
And remember, with each one of these bands that you see that rotates through around the center of that storm, the winds within those bands can be quite gusty. We've also been watching for the potential for tornadoes. We had a few tornado warnings off to our east today. You can see some of those storms that were spinning up. Any of these, that one right there that was coming up in northern Taylor County, that had a tornado warning with it earlier. So that is also a threat that we have our eye on tonight. Here's the track of where Michael will end up. And again, this is coming from the National Hurricane Center, still a Category 4 hurricane right now. It is expected to weaken in the coming hours and by about 8 o'clock tonight be approaching Calhoun County, Georgia as a Category 2 storm. Now from there, remember, it's going to travel within that cone, and that does include the southern and eastern counties in our coverage area. That would mean a hurricane is going to be moving through that area with winds of at least 100 miles per hour. The gust in there could be even higher than that. As we look at the different advisories, we have hurricane warnings in place here. We actually have live with us Chandler Morgan. She is in Americus, Georgia, and she has the Sumter County EMA director there. Chandler, again, what can you tell us about what's going on down in Americus, one of these areas that we expect to be pretty hard hit here in a little bit?
Yeah, Derek, that's right. Right now, we're just experiencing that light rain with that slight wind gust, but we're anticipating Michael to come. So right now, I'm joined by Nigel Poole, who's with the Sumter County EMA. And Nigel, there's a mandatory curfew tonight.
Right. We've issued a mandatory curfew.
Now, out in the field, we do have Tony Sloan reporting out in the field. Tony, how is the weather out there?
Well, Dylan, we're seeing a lot of that heavy rainfall. It's actually coming down hard, and then it begins to slow down a little, only to come back even harder. We're also experiencing some of those wind gusts that are pretty strong around here, strong enough to even knock down this tree right here behind us. You can see.
You see every one of these bands of rain that continue to spin around. You're getting wind gusts within these bands approaching 50, 60, or 70 miles per hour. So there's numerous power outages in this area, numerous reports of trees coming down as well in this area. Places like Americus, Richland, Lumpkin, down to Eufaula, down to Georgetown, Ellaville, even around Buena Vista as well. Some areas that are getting some of the gustiest of those winds.
Satellite presentation has really degraded compared to earlier when it was a Category 4 moving into the Florida Panhandle coast, now moving up into the Chattahoochee Valley and weakening down to a Category 1 hurricane. When these tropical systems move inland, they weaken and the wind threat diminishes, but the rain threat continues. And you can see across the Chattahoochee Valley, you can see widespread rainfall totals of 2 inches in the blue, 3 inches in the purple, and you can see some reds. That's where 5 inches has fallen. So Union Springs had a lot of heavy rain today. And Sharifa, how are those weather conditions down in Cuthbert?
Yeah, these wind gusts, Hurricane Michael, definitely packing a punch here in Cuthbert. You can see this awning at Just Furniture and Appliances totally ripped off.
Hi, Chief Meteorologist Derek Kincaid back here in the Storm Team 9 Alert Center alongside meteorologist Dylan Federico, and we are tracking Michael for you tonight. The worst the storm has to offer, currently in progress across parts of the Chattahoochee Valley. I want to read off a couple of reports that have come into the newsroom over the course of the last hour or so. Countywide power outages in Stewart and Webster counties. That's right there and right there. All 911 lines down in Sumter County with multiple power outages. That's the county here. City streets in Eufaula becoming impassable thanks to trees and power lines down. We know of transformers that are blowing here in the Fountain City with numerous power outages in Columbus. Also about 76,000 customers in Georgia without power right now, a number that's only going to go up. And again, that's just a few reports that we're getting tonight from Michael. Here is the hurricane as we speak. There's that center of circulation crossing into our neck of the woods, and it's still a hurricane, a Category 1 storm. Heavy rain, of course, with that, and we worry about the wind threat too. Want to take you in on a closer view here. There's the center of circulation that's crossing into Sumter County. This is likely to cross just to the east of Americus near the town of Leslie, crossing 280 here very soon, then crossing the Flint River out of the WTVM coverage area and crossing I-75 after that. Now we have our very own Chandler Morgan in Americus right now. Chandler is the closest reporter we have to the center of this thing, and I know the weather as of right now not that great where you are. Chandler, what's going on out there?
Derek, you said it. I mean, those winds and the rain just really picking up and whipping us as we're in this parking lot of the Walmart. You can see all these outdoor planters just really just thrown across this entire parking lot right here. If you can see from the distance just how bad that wind is.
And they are seeing wind gusts between 50 and 70 miles per hour there in Sumter County in Americus. So again, Chandler located down there. Another thing that we're watching, these bands of rain that continue to rotate around the storm. So here's one coming through Schley County. Ellaville, you're likely getting torrential rain and gusty winds. Butler down to Buena Vista, wet as well. And then another band that we're tracking for you from Thomaston to Talbotton to areas in East Columbus, bending down the Chattahoochee River, Fort Mitchell, Cottonton, Holy Trinity, and further south from there. So this band likely contains some tropical storm force wind gust as well. That's about to rotate into parts of Columbus. That will likely cause additional power outages and additional trees down. And don't forget, on the news tonight at 10 o'clock Eastern Time, we are going to have the latest for you. We will be simulcasting that on WTVM and WXTX. You can tune in there as we run down what we have seen so far today and what still may be left to come tonight. Don't forget the WTVM weather app, a great source of information for you as well. And for viewers that happen to be tuning in on Facebook, when we get off the air, we are going to continue over on that Facebook page. So again, if you want to watch some extended coverage, just come on over to our Facebook page and be able to check things out there. But you'll notice this clearing band right there coming through East Alabama. So dry now across Alexander City, Tuskegee, Union Springs. All good news to report there. So we have the Mobile Alert Center out and about tonight as well. Here is a view from the streets of the Fountain City as the rain continues to come down. Thankfully, of course, this time of night, most people off the roads, but still some wind that would be, again, capable of knocking down some tree limbs or trees. That would certainly be a possibility out there tonight.
But the great news is, once again, Michael is rapidly moving its way out of the Chattahoochee Valley, and in its wake, we're going to quickly see conditions dry out and improve. You can see that cutoff line moving through, actually now past the Auburn area. Columbus will be drying out soon from this storm. LaGrange, though, still seeing some heavy rain with this, along with Thomaston, down in Butler and Buena Vista as well.
And within these bands, we're still getting gusty winds, winds that are capable of knocking down some tree limbs or knocking down some trees. The worst of the weather now from Thomaston down to Butler, also from around Hamilton through parts of East Columbus down toward Buena Vista, and then here really around West Point to Valley, Lynette, and back down into parts of Harris County and North Columbus. So we're going to be watching these little bands here and there where we could have, again, some wind gusts capable of knocking down some trees. We were still seeing transformers blow outside the television station not that long ago. We know that the storm left behind a lot of damage, not just on the Gulf Coast, but here close to home. Our reporters were out and about today getting video of the trees down, the power line issues, especially southeast of Columbus as expected. So be sure you tune in to News Leader 9 morning, 5 a.m. Eastern time for more on what happened out there tonight and what happened during the day today. And also we'll have the latest on what to expect as we get you set for the next 9 days. In the meantime tonight, keep up with that WTVM weather app. If there are any additional alerts or warnings or advisories, you're going to see that pop up on the app tonight. So if you don't have that, get it. Remember, in this area, we're still concerned a little bit about some wind gusts that could still knock down some trees or tree limbs, but the weather improving in a big way over in East Alabama and improving in a big way south of U.S. Highway 80. Now, we'll, of course, keep an eye on things for you, and we'll have more if needed. But for now, I'm going to turn you back over to regular programming.